All right, if you're part of a growing team, I bet your expense process started with something super simple, right? A quick message. But what if I told you that simple process is probably, quietly, costing you a whole lot more than you realize? Today, we're going to dig into the hidden price of fragmented expenses. And believe me, it's about way more than just wasted time. Yeah. Does this look familiar? A quick little message in a Slack channel. So fast, so easy. It feels incredibly efficient, doesn't it? Somebody pays for something, they post it, and it feels like the job is done. But here's the thing. This super simple act, that's exactly where all the problems start. And hey, let's be real. When your team is tiny, this system is actually perfect, right? There are no annoying forms, no extra tools to learn. Everybody knows what was spent. Nothing really gets lost. It's just beautifully simple. But then you hire a few more people, and the number of expenses starts to tick up. And all of a sudden, what was so simple is now a complete mess. Now, let me be clear. This isn't because your team is getting careless. The problem isn't the people at all. It's the process itself. So the real issue we're talking about here is something called fragmentation. Basically, your financial data is scattered all over the place in these disconnected tools. And the biggest danger is that these kinds of systems, they don't fail with a big, loud crash. No, they fail silently. They die a death of 1,000 cuts, one missed message, one forgotten receipt at a time. I mean, just think about it for a second. There's a huge mismatch here. Slack was built for one thing: communication. Fast-moving, real-time conversations. It was never, ever designed to be some kind of permanent, searchable financial record. So what happens? Messages get buried, crucial details get left out, and your financial record ends up being, well, almost always incomplete. And so what's the next logical step? Well, of course, someone, and let's be honest, it's usually a super busy founder or an ops manager, starts manually copying everything from Slack into a Google Sheet. And at first, it feels like a good idea. It feels like you're finally creating some order out of all that chaos. But here's the catch. What you've really created is a silent bottleneck. Your entire financial accuracy now rests on the shoulders of one person doing this incredibly manual, repetitive task. This isn't some slick automation. Nope. It's just delayed manual work. And this just shows you how incredibly fragile this whole setup is. I mean, think about it. It relies on someone remembering to update it. Then they have to guess the context of some Slack message from 2 months ago. Then they've got to go chase down their colleagues for receipts. And on top of all that, they're supposed to somehow catch every single mistake. This isn't a process. It's a system built entirely on hope. And that is just not reliable. So here's the key takeaway, right? Your Slack channel has all these messages, and your Google Sheet has all these numbers, but the two just don't always connect. And it's in that gap between them. That's where all the invisible and, trust me, very real financial risks start to creep in. Okay, like take missed expenses. A simple message for, printer ink gets completely buried in a busy thread. It never even makes it to the spreadsheet. And just like that, poof, the expense is gone from your records and your budget is immediately wrong. Or what about the opposite? Duplicate entries. Someone logs an expense, but hey, the spreadsheet isn't updated in real time, so someone else, probably just trying to be helpful, adds it again. And boom, now you're counting the exact same cost twice. Then there are the delayed updates. That spreadsheet, it's probably only getting updated every few days, maybe even weeks, which means your financial reports are never actually up to date. You're constantly making big, important decisions based on old, incomplete information. And finally, incomplete records. In the rush to copy-paste everything, the really important details just vanish. What was the exact date on that? Which client was that lunch for again? Where in the world is the receipt? The entry might technically be there, but it's pretty much useless for real bookkeeping. And forget about an audit. And all of these little, quiet failures, they all build up to that one huge, stressful question at the end of the month. Why don't our numbers match? You're just staring at the screen and nothing adds up. The confusion, the frustration, it's just awful. Most people think the biggest cost of a messy process like this is just wasted time. But the real cost, the much deeper one, is trust. When nobody on the team can actually rely on the financial data, confidence just craters. Decisions get hesitant. Budgets become complete guesswork. And I really want to be crystal clear about this. If this is happening at your company, it is not your team's fault. They are not being careless, they're not disorganized. It's simply that you've outgrown a process that just can't support you anymore. So let's break down exactly why this whole thing falls apart as you grow. A process that kind of worked for a team of 5 is going to completely break down for a team of 25. I mean, every new person who add, every new expense, every new layer of approval, it's just one more chance for something to get lost or misreported or just plain wrong. So, what's the fix? Look, it's not about finding a better spreadsheet template. The real solution is to stop scattering your information across a dozen different tools. It's about bringing everything into one single, dedicated system, a place where an expense gets recorded once, right at the source. Because a system like that isn't just about saving a few hours of boring data entry. Its real power, its true magic, is that it gets rid of all that uncertainty. When your data is clean and organized from the very beginning, you finally know you can rely on it. And when you have that kind of clarity, something amazing happens. Work actually gets calmer. The whole finance process stops feeling like you're a detective trying to solve a crime. You can actually make decisions with real confidence. And that feeling of just chaotic, out of control growth, it starts to disappear. So really, the biggest thing to take away from all this is that fixing your expense process, it's not just some small, boring admin task you can put off. It's about building a solid foundation of trust. It's about having real confidence in the numbers that power your entire business. So let's leave you with this final thought. Once you stop fighting with your own data, once you have total, unshakable confidence in your numbers, what does that free you up to go and build next?